Welcome back. Dehydration is a major cause of ill health in the population and can be caused by the excessive passage of watery fecal matter, vomiting, or a combination of both. Medical experts say cholera, a disease which comes with these symptoms, need not pose a hopeless situation if individuals and the government take the right steps to prevent and manage the disease. Tonight, our focus on health deals with cholera. Our correspondent Mary Alale Yusuf reports.
It can spread through the water distribution system. It can also be picked up by flies, which drop it on food, and is then carried by people who spread it from hand to mouth. And if it enters the human body, without intervention, sufferers could die in a matter of hours. It is cholera, caused by bacteria called Vibrio cholerae.
The prominent symptom is a watery, profuse diarrhea. It's just like putting on a tap. The patient loses huge volumes of fluid within a short period of time. Sometimes there could be some slight abdominal cramps, headache, a vague feeling of being unwell, lightheadedness, tiredness. But like I mentioned earlier on, the prominent symptom is a profuse watery diarrhea that is described as a rice water or rice water stool. The physical appearance could range from a normal physical appearance to the person looking dehydrated, the eyeballs are sunken, the cheekbones are depressed, the patient is basically dehydrated, there's listlessness, the person feels tired, cannot move around much.
According to the World Health Organization, there are 3 to 5 million cases of cholera worldwide and 100,000 to 120,000 fatalities of the disease every year. In spite of these grave consequences, treatment is simple.
You give oral rehydration solution to the patient before if it now becomes more severe, you now have to take the patient to the hospital. Even if you're going to take the patient to the hospital, you must institute oral rehydration solution therapy. There are some solutions that are already packed. It comes in a sachet, so you just open up and follow the instructions. Usually we get a liter or so of clean water, okay, and constitutes the solution.
Hygiene is important for good health, and the availability of clean water cannot be compromised, but not everyone has access to this.
For those who don't have access to potable water, let's say potable water, water could be made safe. And how is this possible? By boiling. That's the simplest method. Okay, that can be done in the household. So water for drinking should be boiled, water for cooking should be boiled also, water for washing utensils should also be boiled. And in addition to that, water can also be treated with chlorine. There's a safe amount of chlorine that can be used to treat water. Food vendors to properly cover their food, properly cover their water, save food when hot. Okay, these are practices that could reduce the transmission of cholera.
There is no substitute for washing one's hands with clean water, and the prevention of cholera requires personal effort, no doubt, but the community and every tier of government have a role to play.
The surest way on a long-term basis is to make sure that water distribution, water filtration are at optimum levels, because this is a waterborne disease. As much as possible, boreholes should be dug. If we must dig boreholes, they should be far from sewage pipes and from sewage systems. They should be far from gutters and pit latrines. And then, of course, you need environmental aspects, we call EIA, environmental impact assessment, because these things have an impact on the environment.
The first outbreak of cholera was spread from the Ganges, India, in the 19th century. Since then, outbreaks have occurred in several countries, and cholera is now endemic in many nations. A seventh major outbreak started in 1961 and is still on. Mary Alale Yusuf, Channels Television News.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Business News. I am Adeshawa Josh. The federal government has urged the European Union to invest in the proposed Wholesale Development Bank through the Union's Development Financing Outfit, which is the European Development Bank. The Minister of State for Finance, Ambassador Bashir Yuguda, made this known while receiving a delegation of the European Union led by the EU Ambassador to Nigeria, Michael Arian, also revealed that the bid has raised significant interest among global funding agencies. According to him, the World Bank has pledged $500 million, while other development-oriented financial institutions like the African Development Bank have also committed some funds for the takeoff of the bank. The minister explained that the aim was to boost the growth of the real sector by ensuring long-term financing and drastically cutting down interest rate, adding that the federal government will soon be embarking on a roadshow to some specific countries to raise more capital. Well, the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, has announced Skybank PLC as the preferred bidder for the acquisition of the fully paid-up ordinary shares of Main Street Bank Limited. AMCON also says that Cedar One Investment Partners and Fidelity Bank PLC have been reserved as the first and second preferred bidders, respectively, for the same transaction. The completion of the deal is subject to the fulfillment of the terms of the share sale and purchase agreement meant to be executed by Skybank PLC. Other required regulatory approvals for the transaction include the receipts from the CBN and the Securities and Exchange Commission. Main Street Bank was until August 2011 known as AfriBank PLC before earning its national license. Also, lending rates at the interbank market eased marginally to an average of 10.37% this week. They are down from 10.5% after the government paid off open market treasury bills and retired matured bonds. The open buyback rate eased by 25 basis points to 10.25%, while overnight placement remained unchanged at 10.5%. And here is a summary of trading activities at the Nigerian stock market this week. A turnover of 2.588 billion shares worth 29.902 billion naira in 18,750 deals were traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange. And this is in contrast to a total of 1.586 billion shares valued at 26.921 billion naira last week. The NSE All-Share Index and market capitalization rose by 0.7% to close on Friday at 41,103.94 and 13.572 trillion naira each. Consequently, 5 indices appreciated during the week, with the exception of the NSE Insurance Index, NSE Lotus 2 Index and NSE Industrial Goods Index. On the gainers table, you can see Stanbic IBTC, Champion Breweries and CCNN top that list. On the decliners table, however, UPDC Real Estate Investment Trust, Interlinked Technologies, Custodian and Allied Insurance led, other prize losers. Well, that's business news tonight. The news at 10 continues in a moment, and a happy Salah celebration.
The Ogun State government has presented relief materials worth millions of naira to victims of the fire disaster, which razed many buildings at the Kara Cattle Market in the Sheriolofin area of Ifo local government area of the state. The State Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Ayo Olubori, said this became necessary in order to cushion the effect of the fire disaster on those that were affected.
It may not replace all what these traders lost. These relief materials, roofing sheets, blankets, bags of cement, mattresses, among other personal effects, will certainly help in the rebuilding exercise.
This is the culture in Ogun State, the culture that respects every citizen in Ogun State, wherever they reside. We respect all of them, and that is why we are here, giving immediate intervention to the victims of fire disaster. This has always been the way we've been responding to disaster issues in Ogun State. Within hours, government will move in and provide immediate, relief materials to the victims so far affected.
The traders appreciate the gesture and are promising the Ogun State government that the relief materials will be put to good use.
We are very grateful to the state government because at any time when we have any problem, Ogun State government will be very immediately, the Ogun State will see one of the Ogun State government. And even this time around, by the time when we have this problem, before we realize, the Honorable Commissioner has arrived with many commissioners in order to solve our problem, and we are very grateful for that.
This is not the first time the Kara market will go up in flames. The Ogun State government has asked security agencies to commence investigations. Government notes also that it is too early to speculate on the causes of the incidents, as only a thorough investigation into it is required at this time.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Hong Kong's leader says police will take all necessary precautions to ensure public offices and schools reopen on Monday as thousands rally against violence. That's on the foreign scene. Please stay with us.